you're rolling this one for Jenny.
We're rolling.
You want this one?
Hi, Scott Orland with Cinema-Magazin. It is my pleasure to be sitting next to two-time Academy Award-winning Sally Field. Actually, she just won a New York Film Critics Award, too, for Lincoln. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is a good day for Sally Field. I'm always fascinated when actors play historical characters because you don't have the opportunity to go actually sit and talk to that person. So what did you really know about Mary Lincoln Todd?
Well, I knew as much as I possibly could know. I read 5 biographies, 5 really credible biographies by amazing scholars who've done so much research. So I read that. I read her letters, which is very, very informative. There's a huge, wonderful book of her letters. I visited her home. I visited collections of memorabilia of who she was. So you see things of hers. And other than that, that's you know, basically what you have to put those ingredients together.
She was a very feisty woman, too.
Yes, had always been described, even as a child, as being incredibly colorful and full of life and a big personality, and wouldn't go away and shut up.
Do you understand it? Does that something relate to you? I mean, how feisty are you? I mean, is it something that, when do you know what's worth being aggressive for and to fight for something?
I mean, I'm an emotional being, but I don't have her tenacity. So I really had to dig inside myself to come after her. But certainly, owning her and having this role was worth fighting for. So I think I know enough from So Many Miles in the Saddle that I don't mind being squashed like a bug if it's for something that I have to know that I did everything on earth to get to do.
Now, you're a very contemporarily, casually dressed woman today, but when you do a movie like that, I mean, it's like 500 layers and
Yeah.
they grab it.
Yeah.
How do you, as a woman, like that attire? What does that costume do? I mean, do you like it as an actor, but hate it as a woman? I mean, can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I don't think you can separate the two. I mean, when you're doing a role like that, when you have the opportunity to do a role like that, having the exterior is such a huge part of doing the work. Really knowing what all of those clothes were, it informs you how she behaves and who women were at the time, and also the fact that my exterior, I put on 25 pounds to try to match her girth.
Donut, Mrs. Fields.
No. I did it very disciplined. I didn't even have any good time. I didn't have a single meal that was worth remembering. It was kind of awful. But, so that felt worse than having that amount of weight on me was harder than the clothes.
Now, you have this incredible opportunity in this movie to work with Steven Spielberg as the director and then Daniel DayLewis as your husband, as the actor in the movie. And I understand that Daniel's such a method actor that when you were communicating with each other, it was as Abraham and Mary. I mean, it was never Sally and Daniel. Is that correct?
But I'm method. He's not. Method was actually coined from the group theater actor studio Lee Strasberg. That's where I studied. I studied with Lee for years and years and years. What people think is method is when actors want to stay in this world they create for themselves 24 hours a day. Well, all actors do that. The really good actors try very hard to do that. It's just that Daniel does it better than anybody else. I think that's the only thing. He's just better at it. Certainly, I always try to do that, and to a large degree do. I just hide it because people talk about you and they think you're being unfriendly, and I am being unfriendly. I don't want them in my face. You know, go away. I'm doing my work. So I never had a beat when it didn't just feel like he's my darling Mr. Husband, Mr. Lincoln, and this I marry and sit down. I have to talk to you. I never had a moment of anything other than this is like I died and gone to heaven. Therefore, when we did have our early communications with each other, it was of the character. It would have been weird. Why would he be communicating with me otherwise? Well, that's the only reason we're talking. You know, now we're friends, and perhaps he would, you know, communicate with me and say, how's the family? But that's our goal. Our goal is only this. And that's what's so great about filmmaking, is you're all in this goal together. So when we would early on communicate, because I had many, many months of preparation, as did he, I was reading all the letters, they spoke English in such an eloquent, beautiful way. And I was trying to own that as he was trying to own how Mr. Lincoln spoke differently than today. And Mary spoke very differently. She wrote beautiful letters, but using a different language that only Tony Kushner could really write. But that was our task, so it would have been silly for Daniel to contact me being Daniel.
Well, I appreciate you sharing your language with us now. Sally Field, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And this is Scott Orland. Till next time.
Thanks, Scott.
Okay.
Red button.